Welcome back to the channel, folks. The UFC returns to Mexico City. Now, something to keep in mind for this card is Mexico City is at a pretty high altitude, so that is something that we're going to want to account for in our breakdowns of these fights. So, moving forward, remember that for every fight. I'm not going to mention every single fight. The altitude is there. There are certain fights it's going to play a big factor in. There are others it probably won't. So keep in mind. But anyway, also, all of my links are in the description of this video. If you want to check out any of that stuff, I do appreciate it. If you don't, that's fine too. Let's just jump into the fights. I'll see you guys in the first one. Next up, Austin Hubbard takes on MarQuel Mederos. This is in the 155 division. We have MarQuel Mederos, who's coming in 5-0 in the last 5. He's surging. He's only got one loss in the entire career. Prospect for sure. On the other side, we got a guy who's been there for a while. He's got a lot more pro fights than someone like Mederos does. He's 3-2 in his last 5, which is still respectable for sure, but doesn't have that young prospect momentum on his side, but he has that grizzled veteran savvy. How is that going to shake out is kind of what we're looking at here. When we look at Mederos, he's got the skills. He's a good striker. He's got good combinations. He can fight out of either stance, excellent feints, and a really kind of awkward style on the feet that gives people a lot of problems. In the grappling, he's got a really good cage push. He'll wear on his opponents there, and he can get good takedowns up against the cage as well. But sometimes he will give up position on the mat, and either it's to get back to his feet or somebody can sweep him, things like that. He gets a little overzealous on top, and that could be an issue for him, especially against a guy like Hubbard. On the other side, Hubbard, decent striker. He's got pretty good front kick, pretty good straight punches. He tries to counter strike a little bit, which is good, but it can result in the volume not being the best. He's durable, though, and he's going to break people with his cardio. His volume is usually good, but like I said, if he starts getting into that counter-striking mindset, that's when it can count against him. Good grappler. He's got pretty good takedowns. The problem is he will leave his neck exposed on those takedowns, so he's got to watch out for that. It hasn't really cost him much in his fights, but it can, and it will eventually most likely. But also, he's very smothering on top, and he will wear guys out and often break them down the stretch, start really taking over in the third round. And I could see him doing that here, but it's can he win one of the first 2 rounds? And I don't know. That is where I think it's going to be Mederos in the first 2 rounds, probably winning a 29-28 decision. So we're going to take Mederos, but there's been a lot of prospects getting shut down this year. So this might be one of those that could happen as well, especially with a guy like Hubbard who does put on such a hard pace to keep up with. So we're going to take Mederos for now. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. We got Jamall Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Interesting matchup in the featherweight division. Miranda 3-2 in his last 5, 2-3 for Emmers. Not exactly the best run for Emmers in the last 5, but different levels of competition, right? Let's look at Miranda right here. He's a decent striker, but he's pretty much a grappler all the way through. His striking is basically there to set up the grappling. He's got decent power. He's going to come forward, and he's got pretty good straight punches, but he wants to grapple. Dude's got solid jiu-jitsu. He's got to get in for the trip, though. He doesn't have any traditional wrestling-style takedowns, really. Single leg he was able to use on the regional scene. It hasn't had any success in the UFC, really, but the trips are there. Got a wide breadth of a submission arsenal. Active from his back. He attacks submissions extremely well, but the problem is he's willing to work from his back, and that can cause him to lose minutes and also get hit in the face. He starts extremely fast, and that cardio is going to fade, so that's a problem for him. But early in the fight, Miranda's live in most fights. On the other side, Emmers, he's a good striker. He's got good volume, good power, and a good jab. He's going to come forward, hit that jab, and do what he needs to do. His leg kick defense, not so much. In the grappling department, he's solid there, though. Got a pretty good wrestling skill set, good takedown defense, good top control. The scrambles are there, but he starts slow, which is interesting. When you have a fast starter versus a slow starter, it's one of those things where the fighters, their styles, they clash in a way that like one is giving the other one exactly what they want for the first bit. So it's going to be, if Emmers makes it out of the first round, you got to assume that he's going to take over this fight just because A, Emmers likes to start taking over after that first round, and B, Miranda's best win equity is a submission in the first round. I don't know that he gets it here. I feel like Jamall Emmers is able to resist the submissions. I feel like he's going to be able to do what he needs to do. Emmers has fought some of the best competition in the UFC. Not maybe at the highest level, but pretty close. And so for me, I think Emmers is the side. I'm going to take him. But of course, Miranda in any fight is live for a first round submission. Let me know what you think. I'm taking Emmers. And I'll see you 145 pounds. Melquizael Costa takes on Christian Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 4-1 in his last 5. We got 3-2 on the Costa side. Good matchup here. Fun one. We got Rodriguez. He's a good striker. He's got pretty good power on the feet. His striking defense is better than I remembered. he's got pretty good striking defense, honestly, and good movement on the feet, good volume on the feet, combinations, he puts them together really well. He'll even end those combinations with a kick in most instances, predominantly a leg kick, but he's a pretty good striker all around. In the grappling, he's solid there. His takedown defense is suspect, and his submission defense was put to the test in his fight against Julian Erosa, my guy. But typically his submission defense is pretty good. He's been able to fight out of many submissions. It's just Erosa's just got such a lanky frame. He's really hard to get away from those front chokes. So you give him a slight pass on that one. I'm sure he's not going to fall for that same thing again. But submission defense, predominantly good. Scrambles are very good, and his sweeps are solid. But he does get taken down. Other than that, grappling is very good. Now, like I said, he's almost a complete fighter. He's fighting a guy, Melquizael Costa, coming off a big win over Andre Fili. Probably the biggest win of his career, I would say. He's got a good striker with good combinations, puts his punches and kicks together extremely well. Solid body kick, probably my favorite one of his weapons on the feet. Got good knees and front kicks up the middle. That's supposed to be an FK, not a KK. I don't know what that was. Front kicks and knees up the middle. Good clinch. Mixes in the knees extremely well there. That Muay Thai style makes it so that the clinch and the striking, they kind of blend together. Good jiu-jitsu. He's very active from his back, and he's very quick to attack submissions, as we saw in his last fight. Now, for me, this fight is going to come down to two things. One, do I see an offensive grappling game plan from Costa? And two, do I see him being able to outlast a guy like Rodriguez? I don't see Costa going for the takedowns as his first line of offense, right? He's a striker first. And because of that, I think that this fight is going to be up to Rodriguez to dictate whether they're striking or grappling. And because of that, I think he wins. Also, I don't think that, how do I put this? I don't think that Costa is going to be able to outlast a guy like Rodriguez, who shows very, very good cardio. And so does Costa, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times Costa's winning because he's wearing out his opponents, things like that, and then getting him tired and then being able to finish him. He's not going to be able to do that to Rodriguez. So we're taking Christian Rodriguez, and I feel pretty good about this one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Next, for 155 pounds, Rafa Garcia takes on Vinc Pichel. Both of these guys are 3-2 in their last 5 fights. And I've got to be honest with you here. I had a really tough time making a pick on this one. So bear with me, and I'd love your feedback on this fight. But let's start with Vinc Pichel. Good striker. He picks his shots really well, and he's got decent power. He has like 8 KO wins. But a lot of those are earlier in his career. His power doesn't seem to be there anymore. And maybe I'm missing something, or it's just a step up in competition from his earlier fights. He does work the leg kick to accumulation really well. I do like that for him here. He's a good grappler. He's got good scrambles. The cage push is a good spot for him. He can work the elbows in really well. And he has a really good ability to reverse position or get sweeps from the bottom. I like a lot of things about Vinc Pichel. His inactivity isn't one that I like. So there is that as well. On the other side, for Garcia, he's a good striker. I like his power, I like his ability to work the body, and I like that he's extremely durable. I like his grappling as well. I like his takedowns. I like his mat returns. There's a lot of stuff I like about both of these guys, but there are question marks on both sides. Ultimately, I ended up deciding on Garcia because I think he's going to dictate where the fight's taking place the most. And because of that, I decided he probably would win more minutes, but by golly, is this a tricky one to pick? Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure the line's not going to be tricky. I haven't seen the line yet. I'm recording this way in advance, but we're taking Garcia. Let me know. Strawweight division that has given me some fits in picking who I think is going to win this one. Julia Polastri is 4-1 in her last 5. She takes on Lupita Godinez, who is 3-2 in her last 5. Now, skill set wise, they're similar as far as just with a big blanket, right? So as far as how good are they in striking, how good are they in grappling, it's pretty similar. When we look at Godinez, she's a good striker with a good forward pressure. She's got a lot of volume with her 1-2s, but she can mix together things in combinations, mostly boxing combinations, but she can mix them together well. She's got good wrestling. She's got good control, good cage push, and she'll work her takedowns up against the cage. There are a lot of things to like about Godinez, but backing her in the past sometimes can be extremely frustrating, because it's not always that she will fight to the game plan that seems obvious to most people. And it's not always that she will take the path of least resistance, is basically what I'm getting at. So it can be frustrating to back someone like Godinez. Now she's taking on Polastri, who Polastri's really good. She's a good striker, clean straight punches, good power, the knees, she's got fast kicks, good striker. In the pocket is where Godinez will have success. More at range is likely where Polastri is going to have success. In the grappling, Polastri's good there too. She's active from her back. She scrambles well, seeks the submission. Her ground and pounds are there. Her takedowns are there. But her takedown defense, not as good. She will get taken down and will have to work from her back, and she can lose minutes on the bottom. I've gone back and forth on this one. And I realize that I do have to make a pick for the sake of the video, because that's how this works. But I don't have to bet on either side, and I highly recommend you do the same. This is a fight where you just crack open an ice cold root beer and enjoy the show, because it's not going to be a fight that's going to feel good betting on. If you're on the Godinez side, you're going to be frustrated if she does not stick to a game plan. If you're on the Polastri side, you're going to be really frustrated if she ends up on her back, gives up a ton of minutes when she was having success on the feet just a moment before. It's going to be frustrating. Right now, I'm leaning Godinez. That might change. I could be swayed on this one, but I'm leaning Godinez, and I'm going to say that she maybe is able to get this cage push going and start working some takedowns and win minutes on top. But I can also see her not doing that. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next 5-pound matchup here that I find to be a bit difficult to predict, and I know that sounds crazy, but let me talk you through it. We have Ateba Gautier, I think is how you say that, versus Jose Medina. Medina's 3-2 in his last 5. He's 0-2 in the UFC. Well, 0-2 under the UFC banner. Obviously, the Contender Series, we're going to count that as one of his, whatever. You get what I'm saying. 5-0 in the last 5 for Gautier. 1 loss in the career. That was a split decision loss. I believe it was like his second fight overall, or first fight, or second fight overall in his pro career. Since then, he's done well. Now, why is this fight interesting? Okay, well, let's start by just talking about the nuts and bolts. Jose Medina, he's a decent striker. He's extremely durable. If we're talking durability, this dude's got it for days. And he's got cardio. Decent boxing combinations. Decent grappling if he gets on top. He's got pretty good ground and pound, uses the elbows right away. We saw that in the regional scene. But he's got cardio and durability. He's fighting a guy in Gautier at elevation who is an extremely fast starter who's gotten, 5 of his 6 wins by knockout and pretty early in the fight. He's a good striker with good power, good volume, good knees. He's putting out a lot of output. Nice head kick. Good 1-2. He sets that head kick up with that. Decent grappling. The ground and pound's there, but the takedown defense kind of sucks, but that's okay. He bounced right back to his feet. Here's the thing. Skill for skill. He should win. Ateba should win. Easy, right? But you're fighting Medina, who just doesn't die. Like, you could hit the guy with a chunk of cement right across the face, and he just keeps coming. Like, Zach Reese tried to kill that man, and he couldn't get rid of him. The stuff he hit him with, I can't imagine that Gautier is hitting him with a whole lot harder than that. Maybe he is, but if he is, Gautier hits like a truck. Now, don't get me wrong. I see he's got power. He's got, 5 of his 6 wins by knockout. But still, this dude is super durable. And at altitude, Medina's live. Man. I don't know that I want to fully take Medina because I'm going to look like a total doofus when he goes out there and just gets his face caved in. But he could absolutely win this fight. What I think I'm going to do, here's me talking it out live on camera. I'm still talking this out in my head. I had to make a pick, and I didn't want to because this is frustrating. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Ateba Gautier to win because what I think happens is he'll survive even if he's death gassed. But I think he's going to do enough early that he can win. However, you can bet your bottom dollar that with Medina currently at the time of recording at like a plus 400 underdog, his round 3 finish prop is going to be pretty good. I'll probably throw a couple of dollars on that just because, and I'm not going to be betting the Gautier side because I would be concerned about it. But for a couple of bucks, for plus 3,000 most likely. Okay. That's how I'm thinking we're going to play this. Gautier is probably going to win the first round at a pretty high clip. I imagine he wins most of the second, if not all of the second round. But that third round is going to be super scary. So we're going to take Gautier to win. He's the better fighter. But being in Mexico City with a guy that starts as fast with as much output as Gautier against a guy as durable and as much of like a robot as Medina, That's where you got to worry. Let me know what you guys think. Am I reading into this too much? I'll see you in the next next. And guys, I've got to mention, the UFC did a really good job of filling this card at altitude with lower weight classes. So they thought this through. In this one here, we got Edgar Chairez taking on CJ Vergara. Both guys have had similar success in the UFC, but have looked different in their successes and failures. For Vergara, he's 2-3 in his last 5. For Chairez, he's 2-2 in a no contest in his last 5. So similar records going in, but they've looked different in the wins and losses. When we look at CJ Vergara, he's a good striker. He's going to come forward, throw combinations. His body kick is by far his best weapon, and the guy is tough as nails. Dude is... Yes, he can be beat, but he's going to make you work. And even though there is that meme of him just running away, he won that fight. So there's that. Decent clinch, good knees in the clinch, decent grappling, good scrambles, cardio for days. He basically needs to keep this on the feet, though. The scrambles aren't going to win him the fight, but they're going to get him back to his feet. The clinch and striking, that's where he wants to fight. But he's fighting a guy in Edgar Chairez, who's also a very good striker, who's going to come forward. He's going to throw kicks that are very, very nasty, especially those leg kicks. My goodness, those are good. He's got a nice blitz, which he can be hit on the entry of the blitz. That's something that could be an issue for him, but the blitz is good anyway. Good power, sticks the jab well. The striking defense has just been, not the best. Good jiu-jitsu. I think he's better on the mat. I think if he gets the fight to the mat, it's going to be tricky because shooting the takedowns on Vergara, he's hard to hold down. Vergara's a slippery dude. But good jiu-jitsu, good submission arsenal. He is quick to attack the chokes, and he'll use that for his submission defense, but not in the way of like jumping a guillotine. Sometimes he will, but also he'll sprawl out and then attack a front choke. So he'll do both. It kind of depends on what he's going for there. I don't really like the guillotine as the defense for a takedown because it's not a defense for a takedown. You just are kind of hoping that you can get the neck, and if you do, you can win the fight, or you're getting stuck on your back. But the sprawl into like a front choke series, Anaconda, Dar, something like that, I do like that. That's a different style. Anyway, when I look at these two, I see both guys, like I said, having similar successes and failures as far as their records. But I think Chairez has looked better even in his defeats. And because of that, I think I'm going to lean Chairez here. I'm taking Edgar Chairez to get this one done. I think it's going to be a pretty competitive fight for most of the fight. But I think at the end, we're going to know clearly that Chairez got the win. So we're taking Edgar Chairez. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Weight matchup next. Raul Rosas Jr. takes on Vinc Morales. Morales is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, 4-1 on the Rosas side. In this one here, we've got Vinc Morales, who's a good striker. He's going to come forward with his jab. He's going to tuck that chin, keep that guard high, and then he'll throw flurries when he wants to close the distance. He'll start poking the jab out there, do what he needs to do, and then, time to close, come forward with that flurry, whatever he wants to put out. He'll work the body really well. He's got good volume. His biggest issue on the feet has been the leg kick defense. I don't know that that's a problem for him here. Rosas hasn't really shown a ton of striking, mostly because he's so successful with his grappling. But I do think outside of the leg kick defense, he's pretty good on the feet. Now, with the grappling, this is where Morales is winning a lot of his fights. He's good here, but his control isn't the best. So he's got a really good submission arsenal, the front chokes, and he is often attacking the necktie submissions, which are honestly my favorite. So I'm a little biased in that sense. I've got a thing for a necktie, am I right? With the submissions, they're just so slick. You got the Peruvian, you got the Japanese necktie, you got the Texas necktie that this guy taught me. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos breaking down Morales, you understand that one already. Was it like the caveman necktie is a wild one? But either way, dude attacks those front chokes. I don't know if you can choke a guy like Rosas with that chin that he's got. It's huge. Getting your chin down is a good way to defend a choke. I don't know if you can get under it. That's a real... I'm not just being like a jerk. I just don't know. I don't know if that's possible. It's huge. So I guess we'll find out. Decent takedown defense for Morales. He does threaten chokes to defend the takedowns, but he also will try to stop the takedown, not just jump for a guillotine. He's got decent offensive takedowns, but he's very much submission over position. Like I said, his control isn't the best. He's attacking submissions, which is good. It'll wear out his opponent. It'll make you have to really work to defend these submissions. So there is that, but it does sometimes cost him in the positional department. On the other side, Raul Rosas Jr. He's a decent striker. It's basically his wrestling threat makes you have to worry so much about that takedown and the volume of takedowns coming your way that it opens up the hands a bit, and he does have decent power. When we go to his grappling, this is where he's getting it done. He's going to start fast. He's going to shoot a ton of takedowns. He's got good, slick transitions, aggressively attacking submissions. He'll take your back. He'll start just going for those rear naked chokes one after the other. Much like Morales, he's submission over position. But I will say Rosas is a little bit more positionally sound than Morales, giving him a bit higher rating in the grappling in my department as far as that goes. However, as this fight goes on, the longer this fight goes, the more Morales is going to take over. I don't know that he can choke out Rosas because, like I said, that's a mystery if anybody can get an arm under that chin. I'm going to take Morales. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say he gets one of those necktie submissions, and if he does, I will feel great about it. But, like I said, that chin is a mystery. We're taking Morales. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Are you still watching this video? Are you having a good time? Are you maybe learning something? Are you entertained? Hit the like button for me. I appreciate it if you do that. Let's break this one down. 135-pound matchup between David Martinez, and he takes on Saimon Oliveira. Very interesting matchup. Should be a good time for as long as it lasts. Oliveira's 3-2 in his last 5, 5-0 in the last 5 for Martinez. And Martinez is coming off that Contender Series win. This will be his debut in the UFC. This matchup should be good. Oliveira, decent striker. He's very explosive, has that wild style, flying knees, lots of like kicks, spinning attacks, things like that. Not your traditional style of striker. But when he lands stuff, it's big, it's explosive, it causes damage, but he can be outstruck by the more traditional strikers, but they just have to kind of be on their, they have to be very wary of what's coming back because if it lands, it's like landing the nuke. You know what I mean? Good jiu-jitsu, pretty good. Good submission arsenal, quick to attack the submissions. He is a guillotine specialist. Many of you know how I feel about guillotines. Either way, they seem to have worked for him in the past. But he'll use them as a takedown defense, which means he's going to get taken down because that is a horrible takedown defense because all you're doing is accepting the takedown and trying to jump on a guillotine. That's not good if it doesn't work because then you're stuck on bottom. However, if it does work, great. You just won the fight. He does lack the ability to take the fight to the mat on his own terms outside of jumping guillotine. That's not the best thing, but he is dangerous. So for Oliveira's style, if I'm going to sum this up, it's extremely dangerous, but not a great minute winner. And that's pretty much how he wins his fights. He's a very fast starter, and even when he's tired, he'll keep up a high pace because you'll see this guy breathing heavy, looking super tired, but he's still able to keep going. On the other side, David Martinez, the opposite. He is a minute winner. Now, he does have the ability to end fights, don't get me wrong, but he is a minute winner. Dude's constantly moving on the feet. He has kicks to all levels in a very wide variety of kicks. Mixing the roundhouse kicks, mixing the teep kicks, the front kick style, whatever. Mixing all this stuff together. Head, legs, body, head, putting it all together, right? He does a really good job. Extremely accurate. He's picking his shots, doing all that stuff. He'll come in with a flurry when he needs to. He can sit back and counter strike when he needs to. Decent enough power, and the dude's durable. He's got the package that you want on the feet for this division. Now, in the grappling, he's pretty good there as well. His takedown defense is good. What he does is uses that movement that he's just constantly doing and then just stuffs the head and just keeps on moving. Like, this guy is constantly on his toes, shuffling around, doing, working laterally, forward and back, but he's always moving. Good scrambles. Him mixing his own takedowns is a bit of a change of pace in the fight. Like, if he feels the pressure coming his way, he'll mix in a takedown and throw the guy off the rhythm or make it so they don't feel so confident about coming forward like that. And he can keep up his pace the entire fight. I was extremely impressed with Martinez on the Contender Series. I was big on him there. A lot of people were on the other side. His opponent was a very hyped up prospect who was a very skilled fighter who will probably make it back to the Contender Series this coming season. That said, David Martinez made that fight look comparatively easy, especially because a lot of people were on the other side. I think Martinez looked fantastic. I think he's going to look fantastic here as well. We're taking David Martinez to get this one done over Saimon Oliveira. Let me know what you think in the comments. We're at 185 pounds for Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer. Interesting matchup, right? Joe Pyfer, 4-1 in his last 5. Gastelum is 2-3 in his last 5. It's kind of just the old guard versus the new guard. You know what I mean? They tried that once before with Pyfer when he fought Hermanson. And that's where that one loss in the last 5 comes in. So this is his chance at redemption, kind of see if he can beat the grizzled vet. And so when we look at the skills on the Pyfer side, dude's a good striker. He's got good forward pressure and a ton of power. The dude hits really, really hard. He's able to work the body pretty well, and he works really well in the pocket. So if Pyfer's able to come forward, land his power shots, presumably he gets guys out of there. He's fighting Kelvin Gastelum, who isn't someone you can usually just knock out. So I think he's going to have to get a little more creative here. And that's where the grappling comes in, right? He's got pretty good grappling. He's got powerful takedowns, good top control. The ground and pound's heavy, and he's got a tight squeeze. Once he gets a hold of that neck, that squeeze is, well, he's trying to pop your head off, right? So for Pyfer, he needs to mix this up. If he just goes to try and chase with the power shots, I think he loses this fight. However, if he mixes the grappling in, he's got a lot better shot. Or if he just doesn't chase with power shots and just tries to win a point fight, he could win that way too. Because for Kelvin Gastelum, he's a good striker in his own right. He's got plenty of power of his own. He's got good movement. His volume is probably going to be a bit higher than Pyfer's, and the dude is durable. Dude's got a head like cement. In the grappling department, he's pretty good there as well. He can mix in takedowns. If he gets on top, his top control is pretty darn good. Defensively, he's got good takedown defense in the open mat, but up against the cage, it does lack a bit there. So here's the thing. Ultimately, I'm going to side with Pyfer, and I think it's just part of it's because Kelvin Gastelum is giving us every reason to think he just does not give a care in the world anymore. Dude showed up like 10 pounds heavy for his last fight. What are you doing? You didn't try. So yeah, and I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh, whatever, like you can't look at that, or you're overlooking Gastelum, and maybe I am. But he just doesn't seem to care. So we're taking Pyfer. Pyfer's also got the skills, so it's not like I'm just picking a guy that's not good and just basing the pick entirely off of Gastelum not really caring anymore. Pyfer's good. Gastelum doesn't seem to care. You put them together, we get a Pyfer pick. Let me know what you think. UFC has really stacked this card with just absolute banger matchups. We've got one here in the 125-pound division where Ronaldo Rodriguez takes on Kevin Boras. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, yo, 138. Kevin Boras has lost his last couple fights. I understand. Boras is in fun fights every single time, though. So this is a great fight regardless. Boras is 3-2 in his last 5, 5-0 for Rodriguez. Going to be fun the whole fight. Guaranteed. That is what we're going to get here. For Boras, we're going to start there. He's a good striker with good, clean, straight punches, puts together combinations well, and will mix in the knees and elbows mid-combination. He has pretty good kicks. I like that he started using leg kicks quite a bit more. That's going to be important in this one. Good counters. He'll catch kicks well, and then when he does, he'll land that big, heavy cross and not chase his opponent to the mat because he wants to strike with them. He's a better striker than he is grappler. So there you go. He's going to stay on the feet if he can. And not chasing someone to the mat is a mistake is something that a lot of people make the mistake about doing, where they land their shot, they chase them to the mat when they've got him hurt, and then they'll just kind of lay in their guard and try to hit him, but it's just not doing it. So he'll hit him, drop him with the cross, and then make him get back up. That's what you want to see. Works the body really well, but the one thing I don't like is when he's coming forward and trying to counter, a lot of times he does that lean back and come through like that little pull counter thing. But if it's the flyweight division. So if you're putting 2 and 3, 4 punches together, you can only lean back so far. The next punch is coming and you can't lean back anymore. You can't limbo all the way back and still just dodge these like you're in the Matrix. It doesn't work that way. That was probably a really dated reference. Wow. If you were old enough to have watched The Matrix, drop that in the comment. Let me know. I want to know where we're at with this. Anyway, so if he's trying to lean back and then come back in with his own shots, when you're fighting somebody that's going to put together more than one shot at a time, that is going to be tricky. Now, if you're fighting a single shot kind of counterpuncher, which Rodriguez has been at times, you can get away with it. But that's something that he's going to have to worry about. Dude's got a chin, though. I don't think he's going to get just flattened from it, but still, either way. He's a good grappler, but mostly defensively. He lacks offensive grappling almost entirely because he just doesn't do it. It's not part of his game plan. He wants to strike with you. He's got a good sprawl and a good crossface from that sprawl. Does a good job with that, and he refuses to accept bottom position when he is taken down. But like I said, the offensive grappling is just not something he uses. So he's going to want to keep this on the feet, keep himself going forward and landing his shots. On the other hand, Rodriguez, this dude's tough. This dude showed that in I think it was his last fight, but either way, good striker, fights out of either stance. He cuts off the cage really well, and he lands super solid power shots, and he does this a lot of times from countering. But the problem that we've seen from him is his leg kick defense, which is what I was talking about with the kicks there. Boras mixing the leg kicks. It hasn't mattered yet, right? But if you can't start defending the leg kicks, that's going to be a problem at some point. This might be the fight, might not. He's a good grappler. He's got decent takedown defense. I don't think he's going to need to use it here. Good transitions, though. Back taker. Dude's just not going to tap out. Like, this dude will be in a submission deep and just say, yeah, we're going to see what happens. Just going to keep going. and maybe he'll fight his way out of it. Somehow he will. He's very much submission over position on the mat when he's doing the offensive grappling, and that's okay. Especially the flyweight division, you get a lot of scrambles, things like that. For me, this is an interesting one because I've backed Kevin Borjas in almost every single one of his fights ever since he won us big time on the Contender Series as a pretty decent size underdog. Like he was like +3 something. And then it just hasn't gone super well in the UFC, but you're like, man, well, who's he been fighting? Like he lost to Joshua Van? Okay, sure. That's not a bad loss. Who else did he lose to? Costa? Okay, again, not a bad loss. So it's like, okay, maybe Kevin Borjas is still pretty gosh darn good. He's just had some of the roughest matchmaking in the UFC. And then you look at Rodriguez, like dude's 5-0 in his last 5, that is. But he hasn't fought those guys, but he's looked pretty good. I'm going to take one more shot on Kevin Borjas here. And if I get this one wrong, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, you idiot. Dude lost his 2 fights in the UFC. He's fighting a guy that's been beaten all the competition they put in front of him. What were you thinking? But if he gets it, but I don't know. I'm going to take Borjas. I think he can get this one done. Maybe I'm still just riding high from that Contender Series win. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, don't forget to let me know about that Matrix thing. That was interesting. See you guys next week. What a banger of a matchup we have here in the lightweight division. Manuel Torres takes on Drew Dober. Somebody's getting got, am I right? Like this is a fight that's going to be fireworks from start to finish, and you know that for a fact because of the way both of these guys fight. When we look at their last 5, Manuel Torres is 4-1 in his. He's looking pretty good. He is coming off that loss to Ignacio Bahamondes, so bit of a setback in the last one, but still looked pretty good in the last 5. For Dober, 2-3, had a rough run, but he's fought some pretty high level competition. I mean, this guy's competitive enough in most of these fights. Lost a really close fight to Moicano, which was it was razor thin. If we're going just damage-based scoring, like I could see a judge giving it to a guy like Dober in that situation. Moicano was able to get the key takedowns, things like that. Tough fight with John Silva, however you want to say it. I don't know. I think it's John, but I don't know. Either way, where Silva couldn't knock him out. He's knocked out pretty much everybody else, but he did get the TKO due to a cut. So there's that. So like Dober's tough, hard fight for anybody, and he's not losing to just anybody. He's fought Moicano, who's just fought for the title, Silva, who's looked like a fantastic world beater. So, I mean, these losses aren't bad losses, right? So I think this is a good matchup for both of these guys in their career at this stage. And plus, it's going to be fun. Drew Dober, solid striker, good forward pressure, good volume, plenty of power. Those are the key components of his skill. He's going to come forward, he's going to throw, and he's going to hit you hard. He's got that southpaw stance, so it makes it tough for a lot of guys to solve that puzzle as he's coming in. Puts together combinations pretty well. A lot of like 2-3s, things like that. Cuts off the cage. His defense obviously isn't great, but the dude's got a chin on him. Obviously, if John Silva isn't just knocking you out, dude's got a chin. I know there was that Frivola fight. You could argue it was an early stoppage. You could also say it wasn't, but either way, we haven't really seen him get chinny. That was like the one fight where he got dropped, and that was it. Like, other than that, if he's getting a TKO stoppage, it's due to like a cut or just like ground and pound and he can't move type of thing. He's not getting put out cold, and he wasn't out cold in that one either. Good grappler as well. Yes, the takedown defense is kind of like but here's the deal. Something that gets overlooked is, first off, you're not going to advance position against this guy. Even Islam had a hard time advancing his position against Dober. Sure, eventually he was able to. But the fact that Islam is that high level, it shows that Dober's, at least got the acumen off his back, right? He's active from there. He does work to get back to his feet, and he will make guys pay for failed takedowns. He also trains in Denver, which is at altitude, so that helps him for this card. He got good cardio, all that good stuff. On the other side, we've got an absolute killer in Manuel Torres. Dude's a good striker. He's not as crisp or clean as someone like Dober, but he has all the killing instinct and all of the finishing potential. Dude's got tons of power, tons of volume, really nice kicks. He is wide open to being countered, though, and that's something I would worry about him for in this matchup, but dude is a killer, and if he gets to the clinch, those knees are deadly. He's got pretty good grappling as well when he decides to use it. He's got powerful takedowns. He's active from his back, but he's an extremely fast starter who is really kill or be killed. So even if he's winning that first round really well, really impressively, I mean, he's starting hot. So you can't imagine. I mean, maybe he's got the cardio to go 3, but we just don't ever see it because this dude is going out 100%. So this is a fun fight. It's going to be a good fight for as long as it lasts. But did you guys really think I was going to pick against my guy Dober? I'm super biased here, by the way. So if you think I'm just dumb as a poster picking him, I could just be biased. But I'm taking Dober. I think he gets this one done. I think he's going to knock out Torres after eating way too many shots and still walking through him and coming forward and getting the knockout. So taking Dober to get it done. He's going to back him up to the cage, hit him with a 2-3 combo, and then that's probably game. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next main event, folks. This is your last reminder to like the video. I appreciate it very much. It is free. Something that isn't free, but if you are interested in it, is the notes on Patreon. I have a lot of things on Patreon that people like, but if you are a notes person, I put all of my full detailed notes on the fighters on Patreon. Here, you get most of them, and sometimes you get all of them, but other times you don't. I want to highlight that here because Brandon Moreno here is someone I've done a deep dive on many, many times. So I have an extensive list of notes and things like that for him specifically. So if you want to check that stuff out, the link's in the description. If not, that's fine too. Let's break this fight down. It is in the flyweight division, is the main event of UFC Mexico. As you know, both of these guys are coming in 3-2. We have Steve Erceg taking on Brandon Moreno. Should be a fun fight because on the feet, both guys are skilled. In the grappling, both guys are skilled, but they each seem to have an edge in the area where the other guy is just slightly beneath them. So that should be interesting, right? Let's start on the Erceg side. Good striker. He's got good volume, good clean straight punches, a nice leg kick, puts together combinations really well. His striking defense has been lacking in the past, and it's cost him before, but typically he's durable enough to eat the shots. It's just he has to wear these shots going forward through the fight. You know, he's getting busted up, bloodied, beaten, and he's putting his own volume out there, and he can often land the knockout shot or get the fight to the mat where he is even better. He's a solid jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got a very large toolbox. He's got solid top control, and he's very quick to attack submissions, particularly the chokes. The guy will snatch up a neck, no problem in transition, whether he has to work for position and get the choke or just kind of catch you in a scramble, and then there it is. So skilled on the mat, skilled on the feet. On the other side, Brandon Moreno. Dude's been champion many, many times. I mean, the guy's fought for the belt so many times, and we kind of were getting a little bit of that vibe that maybe his time had passed, but he came back out and had one of the better performances of his career against Amir Albazi. So it's like, okay, what does that say? It looks like the dude's back. Dude took a little rest, took a little siesta, if you will, and here he is. He's back. Solid striker. The guy has some of the better combinations in the division. His hands, they're crisp, they're clean, they're fast, and he'll double up the same side a lot. Now, you see it sometimes when people like double up a jab. That's not what I'm talking about here. He'll go jab to a lead hook, or he'll go, throw his cross into a rear uppercut. Same kind of idea. The guy doubles up the same side a lot, and he's able to do that in a way that it makes his opponents have to not really know where the punches are coming from. It makes so much sense for us to think, oh, left, right, or right, left, because it feels so easy and natural. When guys start to double and triple up the same side, it makes it hard for you to predict where their punches are coming from because they don't do it every single time. So that's something I really like from Moreno. He's got good counter-striking ability. He works the body both with his punches and his kicks. Speaking of kicks, he will catch your kick, and then he'll throw that lead hook or overhand off the backside, depending on what side he catches your kick with. So like if he catches it over here, lead hook. If he catches it over here, it's the overhand. Does a really good job at that. A lot of people catch the kick and they go for the takedown. Moreno likes to land a shot. Also very durable. He's a good grappler. He'll mix in takedowns kind of as a change of pace. He's a good back taker. He'll attack those chokes, look for the rear naked chokes, but he's got good control from the back. Ultimately, this is a good fight, and I could see either guy winning. I will probably sit back and just watch this one as a fan. I don't think I want to have any action on this fight because I don't know. It could go either way. This is a really close one. I have to make a pick. This way I do in these videos, and I'm going to take Brandon Moreno for two reasons. One, Mexico. He's going to have the crowd behind him. That's going to help. Two, dude's got amazing cardio. So does Erceg. Don't get me wrong, but Brandon Moreno's got some of the best cardio in the UFC, let alone in the division. So at altitude, I think that's going to favor him just the slightest bit. And also, like, this guy just seems to just, every time you start to count him out, he just comes back even better than before. So we're going to take Brandon Moreno, but it's a close fight, and I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stick around the channel, watch another video. We've got plenty on the channel that make sense even after the week that they're uploaded has passed. Not every video on here is a fight card breakdown. So check some out. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you down the road.